When it comes to the Italian mafia, the majority of viewers are very well versed. Nonetheless, they only represent one of the criminal organizations operating throughout the world. The Mexican cartel represents another, and these two organizations mentioned differ significantly. For example, the mafia structure is based on a traditional, solid foundation. The Mexican cartels is more fractured. The bosses of both organizations are typically high-profile leaders, but Mexican bosses are usually far wealthier. Where the mafia depends on drug trafficking to be a main source of revenue, the Mexicans represent drug production and essentially are the suppliers of the mafia. Mexican cartels allegedly out-earn the mafia 10 to 1 as far as drug profiting. In the past decade, the mafia has significantly toned down violence. Conversely, the cartels are ultra and brutally violent and carry out mass killings, as we'll get into in a moment. The mafia is known to use corruption, especially where politics are concerned. The cartels, in some cases, do the same, but are known to be more in direct conflict with politicians and have assassinated numerous public figures. There was a time when civilians viewed the mafia as protectors of communities, but the communities and regions in Mexico live in constant fear of the cartels and what they're capable of. Arguably, the cartels is a far more violent criminal organization than the mafia. Mexico has the highest murder rates in the entire world. The majority are related to cartel killings. They not only target other members, but civilians, police, military, politicians, activists, journalists, and migrants. On August 4th, 2025, the human remains of 32 people, all dismembered, were discovered in an abandoned house in Guanajuato, Mexico. And forgive my pronunciation, which is located in central Mexico. Forensic teams have actually been conducting digs at the site since July 30th. Guanajuato is considered the country's deadliest state, according to official homicide statistics. Last year alone, there were over 3,000 murders. In fact, just this past May, 17 bodies were discovered in another abandoned house in the same area. The violence in the region is directly the result of conflict between the Santa Rosa de Lima and the Jalisco New Generation cartels, who are fighting for control. The Santa Rosa de Lima cartel has aggressively tried eliminating their rivals. This conflict has become one of Mexico's deadliest wars. Initially, the Jalisco New Generation cartel dominated the drug trade in Guanajuato. The Santa Rosa de Lima group was willing to give up their main source of revenue, fuel theft, by entering the drug business in direct challenge to the Jalisco New Generation. To give viewers a better idea of the fuel theft, just in one day, they stole more than $1 million in fuel from a pipeline belonging to a government-owned oil refinery. The leader of the Jalisco New Generation, El Mencho, offers his rival, leader of the Santa Rosa de Lima, El Mauro, a deal, which was he could keep his fuel theft business, but join his organization and pay a tax while operating in certain territories. El Mauro not only refused the deal, which meant sharing his fuel theft profits, but more crucially, submitting to his rival. So he decided to kill El Mencho's emissary, who delivered the offer. As a result, El Mencho launched a full-scale war, leading to numerous murders. On June 20th, 2020, the Jalisco New Generation attacked a drug rehab center, which members of the Santa Rosa de Lima used as a safe house. The gunmen, all dressed in black, entered the center at 7:30 p.m., locked the front door, and killed 28 people. Most were killed execution style. From 2017 to 2024, over 50 rehab attacks were reported in Mexico. In June 2020, El Mencho sent hit teams out to locate and kill El Mauro. They even went to assist his wedding, hoping to find and kill him. But it would be the Mexican government who got to him first. On August 2nd, 2020, El Mauro was captured and arrested. He was wanted for organized crime, fuel theft, murder, kidnapping, and weapon trafficking, and eventually received a 60-year sentence. His incarceration severely weakened his organization. One of the main reasons is he never groomed a second in command, which reminds me of my former captain, Big John. Where just about every single Lucchese captain had an acting captain, Big John chose not to have one. So it's my opinion that people like El Maro and Big John are not confident leaders and always worried about being replaced. El Mencho, on the other hand, is still at large and is considered by the DEA a top priority fugitive with the $10 million reward for information leading to his arrest. However, he's been able to evade capture by using top security measures, corruption, and deterrence tactics. It's believed he moves between the mountains and jungles of Mexico. On several occasions, his organization leaked false rumors regarding his death. He does suffer from kidney failure and has served time in a U.S. federal prison for a conviction in California for heroin smuggling. The DEA compares him to Pablo Escobar in his final days, being paranoid, isolated, and hunted. If you haven't liked this video yet, please take the time now and give it a like, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Anyone who'd like to show their appreciation for videos like this or help me to continue making them, you can donate with the Super Thanks icon down below or through the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. Let me quickly mention my blog, also called Sit Down News, especially for those of you who still enjoy reading. It can be found at sitdownnews.com and is a paid subscription. The Jalisco New Generation are the likely perpetrators of the recent discovery of the 32 sets of human remains. The victims were mostly young men between the ages of 18 and 35 years old. All had their hands bound and had bullet wounds to their heads. 3 of the victims were women. All of the remains found were in shallow graves located on the property, and so far, only 15 have been identified. And the battle for control still continues.